Thank you, Greg, and I'd like to thank all the other legislators that are here on behalf of the environment and on behalf of good public policy within the context of this budget. Last Friday at the press conference, the governor said that there were no winners and there were no losers in this budget deal that they had come to. That's not true. There's a clear winner, and the clear winner is the multinational, multi-billion-dollar natural gas industry, the likes of ExxonMobil, Chesapeake Energy, ConocoPhillips, Range Resources. And there are a host of clear losers. And the losers, the primary loser is Pennsylvania's public forest lands, but there are other losers. Pennsylvania taxpayers lose here. Volunteer fire companies, VFW posts, rod and gun clubs, all of whom raise money by running small games of chance. Museums, symphonies, whose patrons will now be taxed when they come to see their performances. When we started out with this, the Senate Republicans drew a line in the sand and said no new fees or taxes in this budget. But after they did the math, and after cutting programs to the bone, the math just didn't work. And so they had to find some revenue somewhere. And where did they look? Did they look to the multinational corporations, among them ExxonMobil, who 2 years ago made the biggest corporate profits in the history of the world, to tax them? No. They went and they turned to nonprofit organizations who struggle to raise money to provide public services and to do good works in their communities and to stay afloat, struggling symphonies, struggling theater companies. Those folks didn't even know they had a target on their backs, so they could not lobby. But the gas industry, between January and June of this year, spent $1 million, more than $1 million, lobbying state government to get the outcome that they wanted. That's who they decided that they weren't going to tax, and they decided to tax the nonprofits. That's pretty injurious to our local organizations. But then to add insult to injury, the budget deal also hands over our public lands to the gas industry. Oh, throwing the lands open to leases, we're not sure exactly how that's going to work, but they also allow our public resource that we have invested in and that we use for recreation to be handed over to the gas drillers to forever actually really damage the quality of our public forest. Just yesterday, Chesapeake Energy and its Norwegian partner, State Oil Hydro, anticipate that they will be drilling 17,000 wells in the Marcellus Formation over the next several years. Another gas driller has said it has identified 3,900 potential drilling sites in southwestern Pennsylvania alone. We can't protect land that's being held by private people. It's up to landowners to decide what to do with their land. But we have an incumbent responsibility to protect our public resources from being overused for gas drilling. It's up to us to protect that land and to keep most of it off limits to drilling. This budget deal is not in the public interest. And we would call on the members of the House to take a really hard look at this before they decide whether or not they're going to put up the votes for a budget that just is bad public policy any way you look at it. Thanks.